Bastion. It's a good game. But you're probably confused. You might be thinking about this Bastion. But I mean this Bastion. Yes, not the Overwatch character Bastion. Screw that guy. Wait, Bastion's not a guy, he's a robot. Screw that robot! All jokes aside, Bastion is a good game. It's on almost anything you could think of. PC, Xbox, PS4, and Switch, actually. I just looked that up and genuinely didn't expect it to be on Switch, so it's really on anything you could think of. As for pricing, it's $15 on everything I bothered to check the price for, so there's really no reason you shouldn't play the game. Hey, this channel is pretty new, so if you could maybe subscribe if you haven't. It's free. Think about it. Supporting me. No cost to yourself. And later, if you don't like the content, you can unsubscribe. Please. It's free. Takes 2 seconds. Really helps me out. So please do. Yeah. Do it. Just go do it. Go do it now. Thanks. So, if you all remember in the last review video, I created a list of criteria of what makes a good game. Number 1, solid game mechanics. Number 2, are you having fun? And number 3, how's the story? With these criteria in mind, I'd like some suggestions in the comments as to other criteria you think would be pretty good for rating games. So Bastion was developed by Supergiant Games. The music was written by Darren Korb, and the lead art designer was Gen Z. Now, these are some pretty big names. If you haven't played a game by Supergiant, you need to get on Steam right now and buy one of the games. They're really good. Part of this is, of course, the music done by Darren Korb. In my opinion, Darren Korb is one of the best video game songwriters of all time. He's on par with other songwriters like Lena Raine and C418, who you probably know from writing the Minecraft music discs, and the Celeste soundtrack. Now, Gen Z is the only artist who worked on Bastion. I couldn't find much information on her, but she's pretty well known for vivid character design. Now, on to the actual review portion of the video. First off, does the game have solid mechanics? Now, it's not very difficult to fill this first requirement, and Bastion certainly does. The controls are good and they're pretty intuitive, and the fighting flows really well. Overall, very enjoyable. The bird's eye view can occasionally make things tricky, but typically it doesn't mess with you once you get used to it, and the view adds a lot more to the aesthetic of the game, because it lets you see a lot of the beautiful artwork at once. Supergiant specializes in making decently short, challenging, and beautiful games. The art and music is always amazing. If it's Supergiant, it's probably good. And moving swiftly along from the first criteria, we come to number 2. Are you having fun? For this one, I'd say it depends. This one, in addition to being subjective and varying from person to person, I found that the second time I played the game, it wasn't as good. I mean, it was still a good game, but I'd already done everything. So this was overall a tricky subject for me. So, I'm gonna say, overall, the game is incredibly fun. It's fast-paced, and almost always has you on your toes. And when you're not fighting, you're in awe at the beautiful artwork, or being encapsulated by the deep, raspy voice of Rux. Actually, I just realized, I haven't talked about Rux yet. This guy! He's basically like a personal narrator. The story is being told as if it has already happened. Rux is the narrator of that story. He's voiced by Logan Cunningham.
Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky.
And now, on to the third and final requirement. The story! Now, it's time for my favorite part of these videos, because one of my favorite things about video games is their story. And Bastion, it's got a story. Oh, it's got a banger of a story. You live in a crippled world, and you made your way to the Bastion, the place where people agreed to go in case of trouble. There you meet Rux, the narrator, and he tells you to gather the cores in order to power the Bastion to fix the shattered remnants of the world. But once it's done, will it all just happen again? Now, I left a lot of important points out of the story, so you can go play it for yourself and see the full thing. But overall, the story is amazing. That combined with the great music of Darren Korb and the beautiful art of Gen Z, it really makes for a good gaming experience. So if it isn't obvious, I love Bastion. No, not that Bastion, the good Bastion. I love the music, I love the art, I love the story, especially how at the beginning of the game, Rux admits to you that this isn't even the whole story.
Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one.
There's a level of detail that can only be observed from playing the game more than once. Only then can you truly appreciate the depth of the lore and the thought put into the game. It's truly a masterwork. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Congratulations, you are one of the few people who are still here, and as one of the few people who are still here, you are likely one of the last people to hit the like button. Seriously, it's been there, patiently waiting for you to just, boop, press it. But this has been another review video, and I really enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.